Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. It's great to have you join us again.
All right, let's start with this news. Not too good news, but then I think there's actually some maybe lights at the end of the tunnel or something like that. Perhaps for Nneka Ogumeke and Chine Ogumeke and also Elizabeth Williams, they've sent a letter to the Secretary General of FIBA challenging the organization's ruling on the applications to play for Nigeria national team. Remember, FIBA did not grant her the opportunity to play for Nigeria, so all the three of them actually made an appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport to be able to be included to the D Tigers roster.
Wow. Anyways, so that's the story. Nneka Ogumeke, WNBA star, not backing down from FIBA's decision to deny her chance of representing the Tigers at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Hopefully, it's a successful appeal, and we can have this amazing basketballers represent the country at the Summer Olympics. Also on the show, former Super Falcons captain Okpara Jose is back in the squad after nearly 2 years away.
Good news for Okpara Jose, the return of the former captain to the Super Falcons squad. Also on the program, the trilogy is back on and it's going to be in October. I know some people want to see this fight. I don't know what we're going to see. We've seen a draw and a loss. What are we going to see again? Yeah, when I mean a draw and a loss, I'm talking about Deontay Wilder because he's the one who's insisting on the trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, the contract is a contract and has to be fulfilled. Anyways, that's the story. Of course, we were supposed to see this fight in July, but because of Tyson Fury and some members of his team testing positive for COVID-19, we had to reschedule it, and it's back on for October the 9th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So, yes, that's the story, and that's where we're starting off the show from. Cecilia is not the most excited human on earth to watch this trilogy, but I am, and I know a lot of boxing fans are looking forward to seeing.
You want to watch it? I want to see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. That's what I was expecting to see this year. What Tyson, Deontay Wilder insisted that, look, we have to finish the contract, and the contract will end with the trilogy. So October 9th, we'll wait and see what's going to happen in that. As you mentioned earlier, it was supposed to be 24th of this month in Las Vegas, but then after Tyson Fury tested positive for coronavirus on some members of his team, it was postponed. Remember, Deontay Wilder is 35 years old, right? Tyson Fury is 32. Wilder wants it now because he understands what age would do to him if he doesn't have it. So, well, we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. Cecilia, Wilder, Fury, I think it's going to be a very fascinating fight based on what we saw in the first two bouts. The first one was a disputed draw. The second one, Fury left no one in doubt. He's the man.
Completely
absolutely annihilated Deontay Wilder. But luckily for Wilder, they had a rematch clause in that second fight, and that's why we're at where we are now. And it's going to be Tyson Fury taking on Deontay Wilder again on October the 9th, like I said, in Las Vegas. Deontay Wilder looking to become a two-time heavyweight champion of the world after losing his belt to the Gypsy King. Should be a very, very interesting fight indeed.
All right, well, we know that Fury is unbeaten in his 31 fights. For Deontay Wilder, he has just one defeat in 44 outings. Whatever happens October 9th, we know that someone will definitely become the WBC champion, right?
It's either going to be unstill or new.
Right?
We'll see. Is that going to be? Of course, we still have enough time to talk about this particular bout, and we'll continue to build up to it before the fight on October 9th. So wish all those guys the best in training camp. All right.
Okay, now count down to Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. How many days to go, Ty?
Yeah, I know you're excited, just like I am as well. It's 7 days to go. Wow, it's just around the corner. But we'll get back into that shortly.
Okay.
After this, we need to go to Benin City, Cecilia.
Of course. Handball, that's where it's taking place, Division 1. The finals will be on Saturday. The president will be joining us this morning to talk about this. Why Benin City? And also, why are they even having to do it in a competition format? Expect to have a league like they do in the elite division. But right now, I mean, they don't just, it's not a league format. It's more like a competition format. And those who are able to make it to the top will be the one that will be in the top flight, which is usually the league format. But we know that Owena Kings of Akure, Tunjamari Academy, they continue to gain ground. They want to qualify for the Handball Premier League. And, of course, they recorded victories in Division 1 playoffs in Benin City just yesterday. And, of course, we know that matchday 6 will definitely continue today. And, of course, the finals will be played tomorrow. We know the team that will be able to join the top flight. The president will be joining us this morning to talk more about this. I'm talking about Samuel Ocheo. Good morning. It's good to have you join us, sir.
Good morning, Cecilia. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm fine. How is Benin City?
Oh, Benin City is agog with Handball at the moment. It's sunny this morning. It's been, I mean, you know, Benin with a lot of rain, but today is very sunny, so we're all happy.
That's a great one. So we're going to see lots and lots of games today since it's really sunny. Now, the first question we're going to ask you is this. Why are we having a competition format? Usually you expect to have a league format for Division 1, but that's not happening. Any reasons for that?
Oh, you recall that we have the Premier League. This is a promotional league for the Premier League. But again, we had already fixed dates, we had fixed time for this league. And to our greatest surprise when we got here, the number of teams we met on ground was shocking. We didn't know that we were going to have a lot of teams like this. Ordinarily, you would have said, shouldn't the teams have registered ahead? But, you know, there are always some things that come up, especially when it comes to running some sports in Nigeria. And we met a lot of teams on ground, and we had to divide the teams into 2 groups. And then what we decided was that the 2 top teams in each of the group will proceed to the semi-finals so that they can still have an opportunity to cross and then produce the 2 finalists, who will then be promoted to the Prudent Energy Handball League. But that is what it is. The whole teams have agreed. We can always do better subsequently.
Indeed. I just want to quickly, after 6 match days now, we've seen Owena Kings and Todd Marine Academy. They're looking pole position to perhaps gain promotion to the Premier League for next season. Is that how it's going to pan out, or we might just see a couple of surprises before it's all said and done?
Well, Todd Marine, Owena Kings, Correction Boys, and one other team, they've all qualified. Have been the 2 top teams from, I think, the Police Machines. They are the 2 top teams from each group, so they are going to cross themselves this morning in a semi-final format. A game is currently going on between Toje Marine and Correction Boys. We'll see at the end to know who proceeds for the final. And then after the game, Police Machines and Owena Kings are going to lock horns, and then somebody will also proceed to the final. I think from there we'll know the 2 teams that qualify to represent to the Prudent Energy Premier League.
Listen, for the female category, Conference Queens also is another team you're looking forward to that might just gain promotion into the top flight. Another question I want to ask this morning is, Edo State have agreed that for the next 3 years, they will be hosting the Division 1 team. Are we going to now have the league format after what happened like this, or it's going to continue the way it is? Are you going to continue this same format, or you want to change to league format in the next 3 years that Edo State will be hosted? And why is Edo State having that for the next 3 years?
Well, we're grateful to the Edo State government for the opportunity to host the Division 1 League here in Edo for the next 4 years. We met with the Deputy Governor, who in his magnanimity saw what the works we are doing and decided to partner with the Handball Federation of Nigeria to develop handball. This is going to continue. We expect it to continue in this format, or probably better it, but we're going to sit down with the Edo State government to have discussion and agree on the way forward.
Okay, we'll see what's going to happen. Wishing you all the best. At the finals will be played on Saturday. Of course, we know the teams that will get promotion into the top flight. That's the Premier League of the Handball League. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
The finals are actually going to happen this evening.
This evening, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So semi-finals and finals today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of handball. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's leave handball and quickly.
Let's go to where you wanted to go.
Of course.
Champion of the beats
here. In 7 days, just 1 week. On Thursday, the opening ceremony will take place.
Wow.
Right? In Tokyo, Japan.
That's it. So let's just dive in fully into our countdown to the Olympics. So 7 days to go, like we said at the start of the show. And Japanese residents, of course, they're very apprehensive about you know, the Olympics going ahead. We've seen our protesters wanting the cancellation of the Summer Olympics totally, but that's not going to happen, bearing a dramatic disaster. It's not going to happen. We're going to have the Olympics opening ceremony on Thursday. Thomas Bach has been doing his best to try and allay the fears of these residents that, don't worry, guys, everything is being done to ensure that the virus does not spread from the athletes to the residents. It says, as a matter of fact, there's zero risk.
But then, I think it was because a particular hotel, there's a cluster of COVID-19 cases in that hotel, because they said about eight staff of that hotel have tested positive for coronavirus. So they're thinking because some athletes are staying there, Brazilian Olympic team are actually staying there. They said maybe that's the reason they recorded the highest numbers of cases in 6 months. So that's where the problem is coming from. But he's actually assuring everyone that, look, all the athletes that have been here, about 8,000 coronavirus tests have been done. Only 3 positive tests, and they've been placed in isolation. So they haven't recorded any case whereby you have those athletes, infecting residents in Japan. Let's listen to our President Thomas Bach.
The risk for the other residents of the Olympic Village and the risk for the Japanese people is zero. Because of all these measures, unfortunately, the Olympic community and the Japanese community have to live separately. They will be wearing masks and they will not hang the medal around the neck of the athlete. They will present the medal on a tray to the athlete, so to avoid any kind of risk of infection.
Okay, there you go. Thomas Bach, that's the IOC president, assuring the residents of Japan that everything is being done to ensure that there's no further spread of the virus, and we hope that's exactly the case. Good news now. Let's talk about it. World number 1 Novak Djokovic has confirmed his participation at the Summer Olympics. Recall the last time we spoke about him, he said he wasn't too sure, 50-50. But we have official word from the man himself now, confirming that he will be booking his flight to Tokyo. Cecilia, there you go. I'm very proud to park for Tokyo and join the national team on the flight for the brightest medals on the Olympic arenas. For me, the game for Serbia has always been a special joy, motivation, and I'll do my best to make us all happy. Let's go.
Let's go. And this is happening just a day after Roger Federer says he wasn't going to play. Of course, you also have Yana Konta also not playing. Dan Evans also not playing.
Wow.
Alex, the winner of Australia, he has tested positive coronavirus, so subsequently has withdrawn. There's a whole lot of players.
A lot of no
shows. But then, word number 1, the hottest right now, 20 Grand Slams. I think it's enough. If it's there, then let the show begin.
Let the show begin. Fantastic that we have a star attraction in the
finally,
men's,
because I've been waiting, especially after he said 50-50. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen?
Because for the ladies, we already know Naomi Osaka will be the star attraction now but for the guys, we're wondering who's going to step up now. No Nadal, no Federer, and all the guys you mentioned as well. So it's great to see that Novak Djokovic is going to the Olympics, and thank you to whoever Kujiro is, because it says he could not disappoint my little friend Kujiro. That's why I'm going to Tokyo. So wherever you are, thank you very much. All right, let's carry on this time around. Let's go to Team Nigeria.
Okay, I'll start with badminton, right? Okay.
Let's just talk about quickly the ambassador.
Yes.
Welcoming the Olympic team officially to Japan.
Japan. I mean, it was a nice reception for them. I'm sure most of the athletes will not be expecting that. I'm like, they just arrived in Japan, especially when they went to their camp. But then the ambassador to Nigeria, to Japan, Nigerian ambassador to Japan had to, hold them to a reception, had a reception for them. They're really, really excited about that. Let's listen to him telling them, look, you guys shouldn't worry. Whatever you want, just come to us. We're here.
I believe I will have cause to come here at least when all the officials and all the dignitaries must have arrived, that I will have time to come and see you again, and then to also wish you good luck. On behalf of the Embassy of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria here in Japan, I welcome each and every one of you, and I wish you you will emerge victorious in all the events you are going to participate. Count on us at any time you have cause to require for anything, for any assistance, for anything that you think the embassy can do for you, including consular services and everything that you feel the embassy should come to your assistance. Please do not hesitate. Through your leadership, individually or collectively, you can approach us.
Opportunity for these athletes, so whatever they're facing. But I know that the NOC, Nigerian Olympic Committee, and the Sports Ministry has ensured that all these athletes are comfortable all the while they will be in Japan, trying as much as possible to see if they can get their hands, on any color of medal.
Yes, talking about getting your hands on any colors of medals. Our badminton team, they know their opponents now.
Of course.
And Cecilia, it has to be said, they've got their work cut out. Let's start quickly with the women's singles. Just one athlete in Dorcas Adeshokon. Who's she playing?
She's playing, 19-year-old 7th seed, Ansen Young, in Group C.
Okay.
I mean, okay. So it shows that
it tells you what you need to know.
Okay, and when you look at that, and of course in the other another opponent, you'll be playing someone from South Korea, seeded number 8th in the world. That's another one. Also in that group, you have a Clara Azumendi from Spain. So it's going to be a tough one for her because she's ranked 8th and 9th in the world.
Lowest in the group.
She's the lowest in the group, and she's 23. So she's playing someone from South Korea and Spain. Okay, that's a tough one for her in Group C. All the best. Yeah, hopefully she can get out of the group.
Yeah.
So remember, she won a gold medal in the mixed event and 2 silvers in the women's singles and doubles. That's at the African Games in Rabat, Morocco. That was in 2019. Hopefully she still got enough in the tank to be able to contest against these ladies. It's higher. Africa and the world is not the same, right?
Let's talk about the guys.
Okay, for the guys, men's doubles also. They've been paired against 4th seed from Japan. Okay, the 4th seeded duo of Hiroyuki Endo and Yuta Watanabe in Group B in the men's doubles. And also in that group, you have Danish and Russian players. So for Gordon Olufwa and Nolakbo Okpeyori, these guys also have their own work cut out because the players they will be facing are seeded higher than them in that group. Badminton event is going to start July 24th. So that's a day after the opening ceremony.
Yes, we'll keep an eye on that one. All right, we need to go on a break now. We'll just go on our first break. And when we come back, we'll be giving you more updates on Team Nigeria. This time we'll be focusing on the D Tigers and the D Tigress. Join us again. You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We're still counting down to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. This time around, we want to focus on Nigeria's D Tigers and D Tigress. Of course, those two teams that will be representing the country in the absence of the football teams. We all know that already. But news coming out of FIBA a couple of days ago is that Nneka Ogumike the WNBA star, Cecilia, who wanted to represent the country after not making the Olympics roster for the United States, has had a petition denied by the world governing body. But then they're not backing down. That's because Nneka, Elizabeth Williams, as well as Chini, who's the younger sister of Nneka, they're appealing FIBA's ruling on the applications to play for the national team. The appeal argues that the Secretary General should have factored in whether the addition will be in the interest of the development of basketball in Nigeria as per Article 3 to 22 of the FIBA internal regulations. The appeal also notes that all three players have been Nigerian citizens since birth by virtue of being born to Nigerian citizens abroad.
Okay. And they said that if FIBA doesn't grant the appeal, all three of them plan to go to court for arbitration for sports to see if they can make that final roster. Remember, Chineye, she's got a Nigerian passport, and then she's the only naturalized player. She can play now. But the appeal, it's going to be on the fact that if she's naturalized player, the only one, so it simply means only one they can have. So there's a whole lot of legal and technical issues, and FIBA is insisting that because, yes, she has represented, she has played so many games for
10 years.
10 years. She's, you know, same thing with Williams. So that's the reason they will not be able to play for Nigeria. But we have someone that will help us, you know, talk about these and also the Tigers, their chances at the Olympics. I'm talking about Adetola Farouk, of sports journalist with Unilag FM. He's joining us this morning. Adetola, good morning. It's good to have you join us. Adetola, if you can hear me, good morning. Okay, can you unmute? Maybe you can unmute yourself if you can hear me. I can't hear you. Okay, apparently it's hard for us to get across to Adetola right now. Maybe
while we try to fix that, Cecilia, my issue with the appeal is that there is no time. The roster is supposed to be out on Sunday, right? And if FIBA, let's say, denies the appeal, how much or how many days do they have to go to CAS and get that decision before the Olympics starts?
It's so very hard.
Yeah, it's a very, very tight situation for Nneka Ogumike. So we're all hoping that FIBA just, you know, consider their appeal and just give them a favorable, as fast as possible, and give them a favorable response. And because Cecilia, she's very, very excited about going to the Olympics for Nigeria, especially with her sisters.
I mean, when the news came out, when NPFL came out with our list, you're going to having possibly the three sisters playing for Nigeria. I mean, she had granted an interview with ESPN saying that she will be happy if this dream can actually come true. Right now, we're waiting in the wings. This is not the first time something like this is happening.
Exactly.
You know, there's a long history of FIBA, you know, clearing American players to actually play for their countries. We have a Courtney for Hungary at the time, Gabby Williams and Brian Hartley at the time with France. They were cleared, you know, despite the fact that they represented USA, you know, at a senior level, based on what they said, because if it's going to enhance development of basketball in that country, they can be cleared. So that's the reason they're actually doing that. And the players' attorney that is representing them was also the same player who successfully cleared this players. So apparently they have a case. I'm talking about Howard Jacobs.
Yeah, they've got a case. They've got a case. FIBA have got a case as well. So FIBA trying to, in quotes, protect the integrity of international basketball, so they don't want players switching, you know, anyhow, and all of that. But based on their own article as well, to where the FIBA SecGen has got the opportunity or the chance to clear a player to play for another country if it's going to help the development of the game in that country. So the question now is, Nneka playing for Nigeria, how does it help develop the game in the country? Does it? Does it?
I think it does.
It does. Okay. So another question is, if Nigeria actually parades Nneka as well as Chini and the others, and they go on and medal at the Olympics, does that help or develop the game in Nigeria?
You know the answer.
Yes.
Because I believe that everyone will want to actually support basketball in the country.
For real, like
right now,
get on the podium.
Right now we're looking at, oh, the Women's League hasn't started. Just imagine how so many sponsors, you know, for the federation, so many sponsors coming in to help the federation. We won't be looking for sponsors everywhere or having reasons why the league here is not developing. So once the growth is what is important, and whatever your national team can actually attract, it attracts so much money. See what happened to D Tigers. Immediately beat the USA and Argentina. I mean, companies, banks, and all of them say, come now, oh, we want to give you 100 million. I mean, and meanwhile, these guys literally went to go fund me. They want more money and everything. And the president has been the one carrying it all. And then you have the ministry, everyone coming up. Why? Because they've been successful. We're talking about just pre-Olympic tournament. Imagine what's going to happen if at the Olympics they're able to medal. But I think it's all good for Nigeria. These ladies can actually play for the country. But the good news is that we know Chineye can actually play right now. But it's only Inneka. That's where the Inneka and Williams. That's where and Lisbeth. That's where the problem is. But Chine and her sister, the other two, Erica, they're good to go. But Inneka and Elizabeth, that's where you have the problem. But another good news is the fact that this Sunday the D Tigers will be playing against Team USA. I just wish she's been cleared. I just wanted to see what it's going to look like.
Yeah, well, if she's cleared in time for the Olympics, we might just be meeting the United States at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo, and it's all over. It's over to FIBA now. Because,
Secretary General
to make that decision, a favorable one, hopefully for the sake of Nigeria. Let's leave the ladies now. Let's go to the guys' camp, where we're expecting to see the final roster as well too very soon. By Sunday, Mike Brown has a very massive headache, a good one.
I don't want to be in his shoes right now. No, it's a good one.
It's a good headache to have. 8 NBA players in camp.
Who do I drop? And these guys have been good.
They've been all good. I mean, we've seen them in 3 pre-Olympics exhibition games now. They've all you know, done very well. But it's over to the coach now to make up his mind on the final 12 to represent the country at the Tokyo Olympics. Let's take a listen to Mike Brown speaking on how tough it will be for him to come up with 12 players out of 16.
And we actually have 16 guys on our roster still. 15 if you include Jalil Okafor. We have 15 here. So the one that's obviously part of our roster that's not here is Jordan Nwora. He would be 16. It seems like a lot of the media left off Ike Nwamu, and Ike is a part of our crew that's still here in Vegas. But we'll make cuts at some point when we're back in the Bay Area. You know, the competition is really close. Not only that, you know, with COVID here, we have to make sure that we always have enough bodies to practice, and then knock on wood, you know, anybody can get hurt at any time, and that could change the course of who we keep going forward. So we feel that all 16 guys that are left are capable of making the team and capable of helping us. So these last cuts are going to be extremely hard.
It's going to be extremely hard. That's a confession, admission coming from Mike Brown. Cecilia, right now we have 15 in camp. Jordan is still in the NBA Finals, and I'm thinking perhaps he might just be missing out. I mean, because he hasn't been a part of the old training camp. He hasn't been a part of the training camp.
Well, he's not, I mean, we've seen...
And he's not playing in the playoffs as well.
Exactly. So I'm
just a bit worried for Jordan. With the situation he's found himself.
He's very young, so it's going to long.
Of course,
he can play other Olympics. But for now, a whole lot of headache for him. I don't want to be in his shoes because you're looking at your point guard. Who should I drop? Who should I take? Your backcourt. Who should I take? Who should I drop? It's a whole lot of headache, but I'm not the one there. But he's actually doing a whole lot of job for the D Tigers, especially in having to coach without, you know, being paid. It's something you just want to do it and develop the game of basketball. You know, sometimes I wonder if the world of basketball can replicate what's happening in the whole world. We'll have a better place to live in. So let's leave the countdown right there. And of course, we're sorry we won't be able to talk to Adetola. I think we just couldn't connect to him. Hopefully, some other time we'll be able to talk with him concerning basketball, especially as Nigeria prepare for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Also looking forward to the Tigers facing Team USA on Sunday night.
Of course.
Can't wait.
Yeah, Monday you're getting all the updates on that.
Obviously. All right, now, let's quickly talk about this one. You know, most times you want to talk about the Nigeria National League, you want to talk about the results more, but the outcome of what happened between Remo Stars and Bender Insurance, finally, Nigerian Football Federation Disciplinary Committee has come up with a fine for Remo Stars. It's not. I believe this is not what Bender Insurance wanted, because at the time the deputy governor said that they were going to pull out of the league. They were demanding a 6-month ban for Remo Stars, and of course 6 million in damages. But then what we have they had to pay 200,000 for damages to insurance, equipment, and every other thing. The injured players will be 500. Then the sum of 100,000. You know, it's been. That's what they're going to pay for the bus that was damaged. It's a whole lot, but at the end of the day, the whole fine that will be going to insurance and the total pay will just be 800,000 naira. That's damages to Bender Insurance. They've been fined 500,000 for the breach of COVID-19 protocols, and of course, they've been banished to Akure for their next home match to be played behind closed doors. And for insurance, what's theirs is they've been warned to desist from actually conducting themselves in a manner that will actually, you know, kind of bring shame to the league. We saw pictures of what happened there, you know, in Remo, and at the end of the day, it's just one home game played behind closed doors in Akure, and after that, they return to that same venue where they usually misbehave. But we'll be joined by Ama Ignis will join us this morning from Abuja, you know, talk more about this, because I remember when this incident happened, everyone watched. He was actually talking about the fact that, okay, I think Promise Etim will be joining us first. Etim will be joining us first on this one, so we'll ask Etim before we go to Tayo.
No, I mean, just land and then I'll say something. I was going to say, you know how we prefer to talk about just the action alone on the pitch. So all of this, side attractions and quota is not good for the game at all. And that's why I'm excited that we're going to talk about the NPFL now. And Promise is ready to join us.
Okay. All right. So we'll move over to NPFL, right?
We'll come back to NNL later. And all of their dramas and off the pitch and all of that. But let's talk about match day 33 of the Nigerian Professional Football League. Promise is ready to join us. Promise, good morning. We'll come to you shortly. But let's see the fixtures for match day 33. There's a massive game involving the league leaders, Aqua United. They're taking on Rivers United. What a game that is in prospect, and we'll see how it pans out. There's a confirmation of the fixtures for you, match day 33. Cecilia.
Okay, Rivers United and Aqua United. Yes, that's the one. That's the big one. That's what we have Promise Etim this morning. That's the big one we'll be talking about much later. Eimba and Jigawa Golden Stars in action. Nasarawa United and MFM. That's another big game to also look forward to, because Nasarawa
hunt for on the continent.
Of course, Rivers United and Aqua United, those teams, I think it's going to be, fight to the end. Kano Pillars and Dakada FC, Warri Wolves and Kwara United, another game to look forward to. You have Katsina United and Lobby Stars, Plateau United and Ifa Yuba, Wicked Tourists and Abia Warriors, Heartland and Rangers, Adamawa United and Sunshine Stars. These are the games for the Nigerian Professional Football League this weekend. Promise Etim is joining us from Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Promise, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Yeah, good morning, Cecilia. Good morning.
Okay, let's just get to it. The big game for this weekend is obviously, you know it already. So let's talk about that big game this weekend.
Well, for me, I think it's a game that can further define where the title should go to this season. Rivers United and Aqua United, because definitely I think both sides have a lot to play for. If you ask me, Rivers United in the first leg where they were defeated by Aqua United 3-0, that was a game that led to the technical suspension of Ifeanyi Namena and goalkeeper Tefila Safelokai. In between themselves, they conceded one of the 3 goals in a manner that wasn't totally acceptable by any standards. So going into this one, Rivers United have an opportunity to close into within 2 points of Aqua United if they can win, hoping that National United, of course, would not be able to defeat MFM in Lafia. So I think it's a very difficult and significant game for both sides, because it could mean Akwa United could extend their lead also or still maintain the 5-point advantage. On the other side, it could also mean that Rivers United could close into within 2 points of Akwa United if they win, while looking forward to other results from Lafia and, of course, Kaduna, where Nassau United and Kano Pillars will be involved. So I think it's a game to really look forward to. And interestingly, both sides have scored 39 goals this season, an average of 1.22 goals per game. That's an interesting statistics. Apart from the likes of Nassau United that have scored just over 40 goals, I think both sides are actually two of the high-scoring sides in the league this season. Interestingly, also, Rivers United have conceded 29 goals this campaign, while Akwa United have conceded 18. So it goes to show what has been working for Akwa United so far in the current campaign, the ability to let in very little number of goals this campaign. So I think it's a big game to look forward to, considering the fact that Rivers United dropped some of the big name players in the midweek game, the ITO Cup game against Handball FC, where they actually got the better of Handball 3-1. We understand the likes of Ifanyi and I didn't play any part. Theophilus Afelokai was missing, and also Malaki Ohaume, who's been very instrumental for them, also was not in that starting lineup. But it goes to show how relevant and how significant they take this game going into this one on Sunday. And for Stanley Guma, if I'm the manager of Rivers United, I'll be more worried with the fact that Godwin Aguda is the player that has been able to score 9 goals, and the strikers have not really delivered for Rivers United this season. So going to a game of this magnitude, any manager should be worried that the strikers have not turned up for the past 32 match days going into this one. So I think it's going to be a pretty significant game. On paper, I would say Rivers United, looking at the caliber, they have a far rich squad than Akwa United. If you want to call the names of the big players they've got, when you want to compare that with what Akwa United also has in their stock. So I think on paper, Rivers United have been tipped to win this, but it may turn out to be a very difficult situation if the likes of Olisanda, the likes of Samson Badebu, the likes of Ubong Friday, the likes of the record goal scorer in the NPFL, followed the likes of Dario Joe with so much experience, and Charles Asimene, who's actually scored 11 goals for the Promise Keepers this season, will really turn up to the party. It's a massive game to look forward to on Sunday in Port Harcourt.
It's indeed massive game indeed, and we'll see how it pans out at the end of 90 minutes. Quickly, another big matchup, I don't know if you agree to call it big, is the derby between Heartland and Rangers. That's another big matchup. You might say Rangers are not exactly in the running for the title, but they're not too far off. They're 52 points in 7th position. So that's 8 points is a lot, I agree. But Heartland, they're all the way down in 12th. How do you see this one panning out, considering that Rangers' victory will take them to within about 5 points of the lead?
I think Heartland and Rangers International in that rental derby on Sunday in Owerri will be fighting like wounded lions. Both teams will be fighting like wounded lions. I love to say this exactly because if you consider whether Heartland is in the low, they have a goal deficit of -5 on 42 points, and they're just some 6 points clear of the relegation zone. And it's very difficult for Heartland because they have quite a number of relegation-threatened teams to play. They will face Abia Warriors at the heels of this match. They travel to Kigwe to play Abia Warriors. They also have Wiki Torrents of Bauchi. They have a game against Kwara United, who are also contending for a place in the continent. So very difficult fixtures for Kwara United FC. But again, Rangers have all to play for because they could close into within 5 points of Akwa United if Rivers United get the better of Akwa United. So it's a hugely significant game for both sides. And I think Rangers will want to really tee up this party. But for Heartland FC, they need to win this to be sure of survival and be sure they have a place in the NPFL next season.
Indeed, Rangers are looking to move up the table. Heartland trying to stay away as much as possible from the relegation zone. Should be a very, very exciting matchup in the promise. Thank you very much for your time on the show this morning.
Thank you.
All right, cheers. All right, so that's it for a preview of match day 33 of the Nigerian Professional Football League. We need to go on a break now. When we come out, there's still a lot more on sport this morning.
Welcome back. Okay, we have the... we finally have Amma Ignis with us this morning to talk more about what happened between insurance and, of course, Brahmo Stars. This is because of, at the time, insurance threatened to pull out. They were demanding like 6 million naira in damages. But then what they're getting is just 800,000 naira, not even up to a million naira. So we have Amma Ignis. Yes, he's the mouthpiece of the Nigerian National League. Good morning. It's good to have you join us. Okay. Yeah, I think apparently is okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Good morning. I think you need to maybe unmute yourself, but if you can't hear me, maybe we'll just move on from this and come back to it on another day. What we wanted to find out is if insurance provided enough evidence, for them to, get what they needed, or maybe NNL just decided that 800,000 is enough because they were talking about the camera damages, bus, and also phones. That's what were listed. Okay.
Yeah, while we're trying to still connect... Okay,
can you unmute yourself so that we can hear you? Can you unmute, please? Unmute your device.
We got to move on.
Okay, we have to move on from this. I think we can really get through to Amma to actually explain the whole situation to us, because people have been asking questions how this decision was reached.
So, yeah, how it was read, that's unfortunately, yeah, we can get a justification from the NNL's part on this particular situation, because they asked for 6 million naira in damages. Yeah. Now they're getting 800,000. Now the question is from the insurance parties, how is this 800 proportionate to the damages they claim to have suffered? Right?
Injury to players. We've seen pictures of players in the hospital where the governor went to visit these players. We've seen the cameras were damaged, and of course, phones. I'm like, okay, now pictures of, we've seen pictures, especially when they return, you saw everything that happened. But maybe, according to the report we heard, is that they did not provide the receipts and enough evidence to actually show that these happened. Maybe the money they use in treating the players, medical bills, they should have submitted that, and also the money, how much they use in actually fixing the bus that was damaged, and maybe the phones that were missing and the cameras. Just maybe they didn't have all these because they said they didn't provide enough evidence. So that's why the appeal were partially granted.
So over to insurance now to try and argue their case again on why this is not sufficient at all. The damages they're getting is not sufficient from the appeal. So we've not heard the last of this story, definitely. So on our subsequent editions of the show, we will definitely give you updates as we go. I mean, you don't want to see pictures like this of footballers that just went to play, just supposed to enjoy themselves and entertain, people, football fans, and they come back with injuries like this. This is not what we want. It's a very bad advert for the Nigerian National League.
And it simply means that the encroachment by the players is just 500,000 and 1 match ban behind closed doors. Is that really enough to deter other clubs from doing that? So that's the big question.
So many questions, very
that we need to
answers.
All right, hopefully we'll get all that for you.
Cecilia, let's get on with the show now. Let's talk about the return of Desire of Paranoze to the national team. Cecilia, has been 2 years since she was invited, and this is to be the captain before she was replaced.
She captained them to France. And won't finish round of 16 at the World Cup, and after that, because of the sit-out they had in the camp, and as a captain, so she had to be
vocal about it.
And she spoke out. Of course, she wasn't part of the team anymore.
Ruffling some feathers.
Do you understand? And of course, in February, remember the NFL president talking about that she's still part of the squad, and right now she's back. But before she came back, we learned that she had to write an apology letter to the federation. But then let's just quickly run down through the list of the players that have been invited. They will be playing the Aisha Barry Invitational Tourney in September, but players have been camped in Austria. The home-based players already arrived in Austria for the camp. You have Tochukwu Oloye, Chiamaka Nandozie, Patience Okeke, Yewande Balogun, who is from USA. The others are, of course, you have a Patience Okeke who's from home base, and the others are based abroad. Defenders, you have a Glory Ogbona of Edo Queens, Osinachi Orale. You have a Esther Ogbona, Chidima Okeke, Oyinyechi Zog. You also have Nicole Payne, Michelle Lozier, Megan Ashley, also Josephine EJ is also part of the squad. In the midfield, you have Rita Chikolu, she's back. Ngozi Okobi, she's also coming back. She was injured, she couldn't play in the US attorney. Tony Payne, and of course Dada she's also part of the squad for the Super Falcons. So the Super Falcons, we should all the best, as they will have that 8-day training camp in Austria to continue the build up to the invitation tournament that will be hosted in Lagos. You have forwards Rashida Ajibade, Francisca Odega, Gift Monday, Joy Bokiri, and Uchenna Kanu. You also have Iberi Oji, Inyambasi Motong, Evelyn Eje, and Desire Okparanozi at the forwards. Asisa Toshola, her name is not on this list. I think maybe there's, we'll find out 1 or 2 reasons why. I think maybe at that time. Okay.
Apart from the return of Desire, I can see a couple of EJs as well too.
Yeah, the sisters.
Jocelyn and Evelyn. Sisters are daughters of Peter EJ?
Of course.
Are they?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
That's interesting. Wow. I like to see what it looked like, of course, in the Invitational. Peter EJ was quite a goal scorer in his time in Sweden, so we'll see how it pans out. So that's it for you. 26 players invited to camp ahead of the Aisha Buhari Invitational tournament, which is going to be hosted right here in Lagos State. Let's go on to the papers now before we leave the show, Cecilia.
Okay. I would like, before we look at the papers, just today to let you know that Rivers Angels will be in action against Bright Future. That's for the quarterfinals in the ITIL Cup. And of course, they have the semi-finals fixtures will play July 18th, that's on Sunday. But before Rivers Angels be able to meet Bayelsa Queens or Bright Future, they have to face each other for a place in the semi-finals. That's what is looking like. Apparently, Edwin Okon says they will not be underrating these Bright Future ladies. Okay, the papers now quickly. Sporting Sun, Sporting Sun. You have ahead season AFCON to halt Osimhen and CR7 battle. He will not be available when they will be playing Juventus, simply because at that time AFCON will be going on. Villarreal puts up Chukwueze up for sale, and Spurs to offload 7 players. When you see the eyes of Nuno Espirito Santo, you understand what it's all about. I mean, he's not smiling at all.
Yeah, it's not smiling at all. A lot of those players did not cover themselves in glory
at all
last season under Jose. Let's go to Sporting Life. Messi is the new favorite for the Ballon d'Or. That's according to Sporting Life. Villarreal shocker Samuel Chukwueze off for sale. Talked about that already. Arsenal, Leicester hit by COVID outbreaks. Not good news at all. Victor Moses scores in 4th consecutive Spartak Moscow game.
In pre-season?
Yes, in pre-season must be said. Of course, Chelsea, Man City, Real Madrid are chasing Asisat Oshoala.
Okay, Nagelsmann confirms interest in Lewandowski. All right. Okay.
That's on Complete Sports.
That's on Complete Sports here. And Ebere Eze Olise tipped to improve under Patrick Vieira. Interesting.
Yes.
Right? We have to leave now.
Yeah, gotta go, guys. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. See you on Monday.